Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Today we have 3 stories for you, starting with a short and trivial one to warm you up. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. The Nail Salon. My neighborhood nail salon is run by and staffed by a lovely group of Vietnamese ladies. They offer good services at reasonable prices, manis, pedis, and waxing mostly. I stopped by this evening after work for a manicure. It was about 45 minutes before closing. There were a few people finishing up pedis in the spa chairs. A couple women came in for brow waxes, but when the place cleared out, it was me, one other woman getting a mani, and one royal a-hole getting a pedicure. She was telling her nail tech that she was doing everything wrong, waving her finger in the tech's face and saying, "No," blamed the tech for staining her nails yellow. She was even mocking her language after the tech was communicating in Vietnamese with her coworkers. The tech eventually had enough and the owner took over. At this point, the client laid into the owner, who asked her to leave. She would not budge from her precious spa chair, demanded a manicure as well after closing time, which was refused, and said that the salon should be glad that she comes here from outside of the city to put her money back into this community. She kept interrupting the owner by saying, "No, you listen to me." Such a horrible person. While she was in the chair, the only person who would speak to her was the owner. She kept trying to talk to other staff who ignored her, and she kept asking if they were mad at her. I go there pretty often, so I know everyone by face, if not by name. When I got up to pay to leave, the staff surrounded me with happy smiles and complimented my nails and wished me a good time at the party I would attend on Saturday. I even got a hug. Eat crap, B. And our next story. Want me to find the exact same item? Okay. Backstory. I work in retail, a real joy, I know, and the store I work at is one of those discount stores where you can get name brands for less money. The items aren't used, but the way we get them, we are able to sell them for a few dollars less than the original retail price. Our system for making price tags in the store is pretty makeshift at times. If a customer comes up to the register with an item that's missing a tag, we basically just go onto the floor, find the same item or something similar, and scan that tag and print a duplicate for the item being sold. It's not perfect, but our price range is pretty narrow, so even when we don't get the exact same item, it's within a $1 or $2 margin of error. Story. I was working the register one day, and this woman, who I'll call Karen because, well, Karen, comes up to my register and drops her few items on the counter. I start ringing to get the last item, which did not have a price tag. I told Karen that I'd have to go to the floor and find the price. She said okay, but she had a lot of attitude in her tone and in the way she was looking at me and standing. Whatever. I left the register and ran to the active section. The item in question was a box set of ankle weights. I should mention that this was during January, so even though the bulk of holiday madness was over, we were still busy, and people had been complaining about the lack of cashiers all day. Anyway, I didn't immediately see another box set of ankle weights to make the price from. I did see a box set of handheld weights, so I grabbed those. They were $9.99. I came back, made the price sticker, slapped it on the ankle weights box, and returned to Karen. "Okay, they'll be $9.99, I told her, and she gave me the stink eye. "And where did that price come from?" she snapped. I explained our ticket-making process and that I couldn't find another one of the same thing, but found an item that was pretty close to what she was purchasing and made the ticket from that. This was apparently not acceptable. "So you don't actually know if this is the right price? Why should I pay this price if it's not the right one? You need to find the same item and make the price from that," she informed me, talking to me like I was a total moron. Well, everything in the active section is pretty close in price range. It ranges from like $5.99 to around $14.99, and I did use weights. They just weren't the exact same ones. "So this is probably the right price or very close to it," I explained. I didn't want to waste any more time on the floor hunting for an item that we might not have more of. We sold a lot of weights, and I knew that they're never less than $9.99 for a set, so even if I was mistaken with the price, it was in her favor. "I don't care. Go back to the floor and find the exact same item. I don't have to pay a price that's listed for something else. I only have to pay for this exact item," she ordered, now raising her voice and going from having a bad attitude to full-on jerk mode. Okay, fine. I left the register and returned to the active section. Rolling my eyes so I could see my own brain, I spent 5 minutes, which is a long time when you have a line of angry customers on the floor hunting for a flippin' pair of ankle weights. I was about to call a manager to ask what I should do when, lo and behold, I found another set of the exact same ankle weights hidden behind a bunch of other junk. I could feel the light of the heavens shine down on me and could hear the angels singing as I read the price tag. God smiled upon me that glorious day. I was smiling like a supervillain all the way back. The ankle weights under my arm. I reprinted the price sticker that I'd gotten from her coveted exact same item and returned to Karen. You were right, $9.99 wasn't the correct price. She smiled smugly. The correct price is $16.99, I added. Her face fell. Wait, what? She was flabbergasted. Yeah, I guess these are a high-end brand that I didn't know about or something. Either way, I found the exact same item. I showed her the item I'd made the new price from. The exact same item as the one she wanted. And now it's $16.99, I informed her, doing everything possible not to look so satisfied that she yelled at me for having an attitude. Okay, I'll just take it for the $9.99 price you gave me earlier, she stated. I shook my head. Sorry, can't do that now. My job is technically to do what you said, to find the exact same item. Since it's an imperfect system, the managers are gracious and we don't get in trouble if we mismark something by a few dollars. And since it was so busy, I just grabbed the first thing I saw, figuring it was close enough. But now that I know the correct price, I'm obligated to sell it at that price. I can't knowingly misprice an item for you. My tone was painfully professional and sweet. It was so fake, but if she called me out on it, I could just play dumb. The look on her face was worth every minute I'd spent rummaging through the active section. I had basically offered her a $7 discount before, but because she was so bent on only paying for the exact item that she was purchasing, she ended up paying more. We allow our rules to be a bit flexible so as to save time, and if she'd let me be flexible, then she would have saved that $7. But no, she demanded that I follow the letter of the law. She insisted that I only make the price off the exact same item, and she ended up spending almost twice as much as she would have on those weights. Well, you had it marked at $9.99 before, so you have to sell it to me for that price, she whined. I shook my head. No, actually, I'm not allowed to do that. It was never advertised by the store that the item was $9.99. That price came from a momentary error on my part, which I've now corrected. At this point, there's nothing I can do. The price is $16.99, and that's what we have to sell it for. She tried to fight it for a little while, but I just kept telling her no, and she wanted to leave. She grumbled and threw her money at me, complaining the entire time as I finished ringing her up. When I was done, she snatched her bag from me and huffed off, and just to add a cherry on top of my already delicious cake, I said, "Have a great day," in an exaggerated customer service voice. Note: we get items from the warehouse with tickets already on them. We only have to make tags in the store if they've somehow been removed, hence the imperfect system. And because of that, we don't keep it a secret from the customers. Everyone who comes in knows this is how we find prices for our items, so it's not like I was cheating her or lying to her. She knew the policy and knew what she was getting into when she brought that item up to the counter. I'll also add that if this was an expensive item, I totally would have understood where she was coming from. When we're dealing with anything above like $20, we are very careful in finding the exact and correct price. This situation was just ridiculous because the item was so inexpensive, and I even explained to her that the price range for this department was very narrow. And our last story. Dean of Students didn't let me graduate, so I destroy his life. My dean, let's call him Gary, loved, and I mean loved, to just throw your past in your face when you get in trouble for something as minor as a dress code violation. Now on to the main story. One day I stopped by after school in his office and talked about graduation since I just barely made the cut. Well, he tells me that I can't graduate since I got in trouble. Apparently under his rules, I was not to be in trouble. It was a dress code violation, wrong polo color, so I was very upset but kept my cool and had explained the situation and why I couldn't wear the right polo. He didn't believe me and told me to get out of his office before I get a detention. I thought this was stupid, and all the crap he talked to my mom about graduation and what I should wear was all just one big lie. The ProRevenge part is here. So about 3 weeks after the initial conversation, I walk up near my math teacher's classroom, and I look through the little glass panel on the side of the door and see my math teacher, Jessica, kissing my principal, who's married. I was in absolute shock and couldn't believe my eyes. I felt like I had to go, but instead, a revenge plan was born. Every day after school, I recorded and took pictures of the affair until I had about 30 minutes of video and 12 to 30 photos of their kissing and groping, etc. Did I mention I was in junior ROTC and had a presentation about a month later? Ha! A month later, I planned it all out, and it involved 15 kids and me who controlled our presentation. LOL, revenge was mine. So the day of the presentation, I put up my presentation of every single photo of his affair and managed to hide it until him and his wife arrived and sat down, including every faculty member except the science teachers. Even his mistress was down a few tables. So when the presentation started, I popped the first picture on the screen with the date. The horror on his face was amazing. Sounds horrible, but I loved seeing him in pain, and he just got up and left. His wife cried, and his mistress ran out and cried hysterically, like a baby. I sat there and cycled through more and more of the affair presentation until I was forced to shut it off. 2 weeks later, I get a call that I'm being suspended for 5 days due to ruining the junior ROTC day and accepted the punishment. He resigned, and his wife filed for divorce. His mistress is on administrative leave, but will soon resign. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.